Being pregnant with a human child is difficult. Being pregnant with the heir to the Vampire King? That is a fight for survival. It had been 2 weeks since the execution trial. 2 weeks since the Golden Pulse saved my life and revealed our secret to the court. Since that day, the Crimson Citadel had gone into lockdown. Valerian had lost his mind. "Put me down, Valerian." I sighed, resting my head against his chest. "I can walk to the bathroom myself. My legs aren't broken." "No," Valerian rumbled, his voice vibrating through my ribs. "The stone floors are cold. You are barefoot, and you looked dizzy this morning." He carried me through the master suite, kicking the bathroom door open. This was my life now. My feet hadn't touched the ground in 14 days. Valerian carried me to the table. He carried me to the bath. He carried me to the balcony to see the sun. I was no longer just his consort. I was the Holy Grail, the fragile vessel carrying the future of his entire race. He set me down on the velvet chaise lounge he had moved into the bathroom so he could watch me while I washed my face. I looked in the mirror. I looked tired. My skin was paler than usual, almost translucent. The dark circles under my hazel eyes were stark against my cheeks. I placed a hand on my stomach. It was still flat, but I could feel it. A heavy, swirling ball of heat and hunger sitting in my pelvis. It didn't feel like a baby. It felt like a star burning inside me. "You look pale," Valerian said instantly, appearing behind me in the mirror. His hands settled on my shoulders, his thumbs rubbing the tension there. "Are you hungry?" "I'm always hungry," I admitted. "But regular food? It tastes like ash." Valerian snapped his fingers. A servant scurried in. They were terrified of him these days, holding a silver goblet. "Drink," Valerian commanded, taking the cup and handing it to me. I sniffed it. It wasn't wine. It was thick, warm, and metallic. It was animal blood mixed with heavy cream and sugar. A nutrient blend for high-level vampires. A month ago, the smell would have made me sick. Today, my mouth watered. I drank it greedily, feeling the warmth spread through my veins. The burning sensation in my stomach settled. The baby purred in my mind, satisfied for now. "Better?" Valerian asked, watching me with that intense, predatory focus. "Yes." I wiped my mouth. "But Valerian, I feel drained. Not just tired. Drained. It feels like I ran a marathon while I was sleeping." Valerian's face darkened. He knelt beside me, pressing his ear to my stomach. He listened to the rapid, thumping heartbeat of the child inside. "He is strong," Valerian whispered. "Too strong. He is taking your energy to build his own core." He looked up at me, his red eyes filled with a terror I had never seen before. "Julian," he said softly, "if this continues, if he becomes too strong for your human body to sustain, I'll be fine." I cut him off, running my fingers through his silver hair. "I'm the king consort. I can handle a little morning sickness." Valerian didn't look convinced. He kissed my hand, his lips lingering on my knuckles. "I will not trade your life for his," he vowed darkly. "If it comes to a choice, I choose you. Always." A chill went down my spine. "Don't say that." Boom! A deep, resonant gong sounded from the castle gates. It wasn't the alarm for an attack. It was the ceremonial gong for a royal arrival. Valerian stood up instantly, his demeanor shifting from worried husband to cold warlord. "They are here," he growled. "Who?" "The High Council of Ancients," Valerian said, his lip curling in disgust. "They have heard the rumors. They have come to inspect the anomaly." I insisted on walking to the throne room. Valerian hated it, but I refused to meet the council in his arms like an invalid. I wanted to look like a king. I wore my midnight blue velvet suit, the one with the silver embroidery that hid my pale complexion. Valerian walked beside me, his hand hovering at the small of my back, ready to catch me if I stumbled. The great hall was freezing. The doors opened and we stepped inside. The council sat at a long table they had set up in front of the dais. There were 5 of them. They were ancient vampires, creatures so old their skin looked like parchment paper. They didn't have the beauty of Valerian. They looked like statues carved from dead wood. In the center sat Elder Malik. He had no hair, and his eyes were completely white, blind to the world, but sensitive to magic. Lord Valerian? Malik's voice sounded like dry leaves scraping together. And the human. King Julian, Valerian corrected, his voice sharp. You will show respect in my house, Malik. Malik ignored him. He turned his blind, white face toward me. He sniffed the air. I smell it, Malik whispered. The scent of mixed blood. It reeks of chaos. It is a miracle, Valerian said, guiding me to the throne. A union of our lines. It is a danger. Malik slammed a withered hand on the table. A human body cannot contain the magic of a pure-blood vampire heir. The child will consume him, and when it is born, it will be uncontrollable. Malik stood up, pointing a finger at my stomach. A Dhampir has no check on its hunger. It will devour us all. I will control him, Valerian stated. He is my son. He is a parasite, a female elder hissed. Look at your mate, Valerian. He is dying. You can smell the sickness on him. I flinched. I am not dying. Are you not? Malik pointed a bony finger at me. Come closer, boy. Let me feel your pulse. Do not touch him, Valerian warned, his hand going to his sword. It's okay, I whispered to Valerian. I have nothing to hide. Let them see. I walked down the steps. I approached the table. I held out my wrist. Malik grabbed it. His grip was shockingly strong, like iron bands. His cold fingers pressed into my skin. He hummed, a low, discordant sound. Then his eyes widened. It is feeding, Malik gasped. Right now, it is drawing magic from the air around it. It is sucking the marrow from your bones. He let go of me as if I were burned. This is not a child, Malik announced to the room. This is a devourer. If it is born, it will eat this castle alive. He stood up. The council decrees that the pregnancy must be terminated immediately, for the safety of the vampire race, and to save the human's life. Valerian moved so fast he blurred. In a split second, he was standing in front of the council table, his sword drawn and leveled at Malik's throat. Say that again, Valerian whispered, his eyes glowing so bright they illuminated the dark hall. Suggest ending my child's life one more time, Malik, and I will turn this council into dust. You are blinded by emotion, Malik shouted, not backing down. Look at him, Valerian. Look at your husband. He won't last another week. Valerian turned to look at me. I wanted to tell him I was fine. I wanted to stand tall. But the stress of the confrontation, the cold of the room, and the sudden spike in the baby's hunger all hit me at once. My vision blurred. The room tilted sideways. A sharp, tearing pain ripped through my abdomen. Valerian, I gasped. I crumbled. Julian! The sword clattered to the floor. Valerian caught me before I hit the stone. I've got you, he shouted, his voice frantic. Stay with me. It hurts, I whispered, clutching my stomach. He's taking too much. I felt the baby pulling. It wasn't satisfied with the blood milk anymore. It wanted more. It was pulling at my soul. Valerian looked at me, then at the smug council members. He scooped me up into his arms. Clear the hall, he roared at his guards. Get the healers now! He ran with me. He ran faster than he ever had. I faded in and out of consciousness. I saw the ceiling flying by. Valerian's chest was heaving against my ear, his breath coming in sharp, terrified gasps. He didn't have a heartbeat, but I could feel the tremors of fear shaking his immortal frame. He kicked open the door to our chambers and laid me on the bed. He bit his own wrist immediately, pressing it to my lips. "Drink," he begged. "Take my strength. Don't let him take yours." I drank, but for the first time, it wasn't enough. The baby absorbed the energy before it could reach my heart. Valerian pulled back, seeing that I wasn't getting better. He looked terrified. "Malik was right," Valerian whispered, tears falling onto my face. "He's killing you." Valerian placed a hand on my stomach. His claws extended slightly. "I have to take him out," Valerian said, his voice breaking. "I have to stop it, Julian. I can't watch you wither away." "No!" I grabbed his wrist. My grip was weak but desperate. "No, Valerian, you promised." "I promised to protect you," he yelled, losing his composure. "I don't care about the heir. I care about you. I have waited 500 years for a mate. I am not losing you to a pregnancy." "If you end this," I whispered, looking deep into his red eyes, "you end me. I won't survive the grief." Valerian froze. He looked at my pleading face. He looked at his hand hovering over my stomach. He pulled his hand away and screamed in frustration, smashing a vase against the wall. He collapsed by the side of the bed, burying his face in the sheets next to my hip. "Then tell me what to do," he sobbed. "Tell me how to save you both." I ran my hand through his silver hair. "We need something stronger than blood," I whispered. "We need the core." Valerian's head snapped up. "The vampire core? The heart of the citadel?" "It has pure magic," I said. "If I channel it, maybe it can feed the baby so he doesn't feed on me." "It's dangerous," Valerian said. "No human has ever touched the core. It could burn you." "I'm not human anymore," I smiled weakly. "I'm the father of a Dhampir." Valerian kissed my forehead. He looked determined. "I will take you to the core, but if it hurts you, I am ending it. No arguments." He wrapped me in a thick cloak and carried me out of the bedroom. The castle was silent. We took the secret servant's stairs down toward the dungeons, where the entrance to the core was hidden. "Hold on," Valerian whispered, his arms tight around me. "We are almost there." We reached the lowest level. The air here vibrated with raw magic. A massive iron door stood before us, sealed with ancient runes. Valerian reached out to open it. Click. The sound wasn't the door opening. It was the sound of a crossbow bolt loading behind us. "Going somewhere, my king?" Valerian spun around, shielding my body with his own. Seraphina stood at the bottom of the stairs. She looked deranged. Her red dress was torn, her hair wild. She held a heavy crossbow made of silver, aimed directly at Valerian's heart. "How did you escape the cell?" Valerian growled. "Your mother has keys," Seraphina spat. "She understands what must be done, even if you are too weak to do it." She stepped closer. The silver bolt glinted in the torchlight. "Move aside, Valerian. Give me the human. The council wants the Dhampir dead, and I am going to be the one to save our race." "You will not touch him," Valerian snarled. His eyes turned pitch black. He prepared to lunge. "Don't move," Seraphina screamed. "This bolt is tipped with concentrated vervain. If it hits your heart, even you won't heal." She shifted her aim. She pointed the crossbow at me. "Or maybe I should just shoot the mule directly." "No," Valerian shouted. He threw himself in front of me just as she pulled the trigger. Thwack! The silver bolt hit Valerian in the shoulder. It pierced his armor and sank deep into his flesh. Valerian roared in pain. Smoke hissed from the wound as the poison burned him. He fell to one knee, groaning, his arm going limp. "Valerian!" I screamed, dropping to the floor beside him. "Run, Julian," he gasped, clutching his burning shoulder. "Get to the core room, lock the door." I'm not leaving you, Serafina laughed. She dropped the crossbow and drew a dagger. How romantic, she sneered, walking toward us. You can die together. She kicked Valerian in the chest, knocking him onto his back. He tried to rise, but the poison was paralyzing him. He reached for her, his claws scraping the stone floor uselessly. No, don't, he wheezed. Serafina stood over me. I was huddled against the iron door, holding my stomach. I was too weak to fight. I couldn't summon the golden light. I was drained. Goodbye, little pet, Serafina whispered. She raised the dagger. I closed my eyes and wrapped my arms around my belly. Please, I prayed to whatever God was listening. Protect him. But it wasn't a god who answered. It was the baby. A sound tore through the dungeon. Not a scream, but a pulse. Like a giant heart beating once. Thump. The air in the hallway turned red, not golden. Red. Serafina froze. The dagger shook in her hand. What? Red mist began to seep out of my skin. It swirled around me, thick and choking like blood in water. It formed a shape, a massive spectral shadow of a dragon, or a vampire lord. It lashed out. The red mist slammed into Serafina. She didn't just fly back. She was pinned to the ceiling by invisible claws. Ah! She shrieked. It burns! It's draining me! Valerian looked up, his eyes wide with shock. He is feeding on her. The baby wasn't just protecting me. It was eating Serafina's magic to replenish mine. I felt strength rushing back into my limbs. The pain in my stomach vanished. Serafina withered. Her skin turned gray. She dropped the dagger. With a final flick of the red mist, the baby threw her down the stairs. She tumbled into the darkness, unconscious and drained of power. The red mist faded, soaking back into my skin. Silence returned. I sat there panting, my hand on my stomach. Did he just do that? Valerian dragged himself over to me. He ignored the bolt in his shoulder. He pulled me into a crushing hug, checking me for wounds. He protected you, Valerian breathed, kissing my face all over. My son, he is a warrior already. Valerian ripped the bolt out of his shoulder with a grunt of pain. The wound was slow to heal, but he stood up, helping me to my feet. We need to finish this, he said. The council is waiting. He opened the iron door. Inside was the vampire core, a massive floating crystal heart that pulsed with purple light. Touch it, Valerian said. Just for a second. It will stabilize the pregnancy. I reached out. My fingers brushed the crystal. A jolt of pure energy rushed through me. It didn't hurt. It felt like drinking cold water after a long run. The baby settled. The hunger in my gut vanished completely. I felt strong, powerful. Ready? Valerian asked, taking my hand. Ready? We walked back up to the throne room. The council was still there, waiting for Valerian to return with news that the pregnancy was ended. When the doors opened, they stood up. Well? Elder Malik demanded. Is it done? Is the parasite gone? Valerian walked me to the throne. He sat down and pulled me onto his lap, facing them. The child lives, Valerian announced, his voice booming. And Serafina has been dealt with. You fool, Malik shouted. You have doomed us all. That child is dangerous. Dangerous? I spoke up. My voice wasn't shaking anymore. I stood up from Valerian's lap. I walked to the edge of the dais. I looked down at the ancient vampires. I let the power flow. I let them feel what I felt. The red mist, the golden light, the sheer, raw power of the crimson dawn inside me. The pressure in the room dropped. The candles flickered and died. The windows rattled. Malik took a step back, fear dawning on his blind face. This pressure. My son just drained a high vampirist dry to save me, I said coldly. He is not a parasite. He is the first Dhampir king, I glared at Malik. Kneel. It wasn't a question. It was a command reinforced by the king's blood and the baby's magic. Malik's knees buckled. He dropped to the floor. One by one, the other elders knelt. Valerian stood up behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist, resting his chin on my shoulder. He looked at the bowing council with a dark, proud smile. "Long live the prince," Valerian whispered. So, we survived the sickness. We survived the council. We survived the assassin. Now we just have to survive parenthood.